Echo here, welcome to a mod spotlighty kind of tutorial thing on Big Reactors. Big Reactors version 0.3 has changed quite a lot of things. I think I'm on 0.3.2C, yeah, something like that. What Erogenous Beef, the mod maker behind the awesome mod Big Reactors, has brought in these things. This is called a turbine. I'm guessing it's called a big turbine, but I'm just going to call it a turbine. This is one I've just made. Now, I was messing around with this morning with Kieran Dave on the Resonant Rise server, and we made this. This is the biggest we can make. It's a configurable size, set to 16 max, so that's 16 wide, 14 internal blocks, and then both the ends. And yes, this is a turbine. Now, I'm going to get to that in a bit. I'm going to start off actually with the reactors, and a couple of things I want to mention with reactors. Reactors have changed a bit. The power output's changed a bit. If you have been playing the latest Resonant Rise version, we have had the config set quite high. We've just set it back to the default, which is 1. It was set on 11, which is putting a massive amount of power out. So it's putting out quite a significantly less now. So what I'm going to show you, I've made some basic reactors here. I've made just some 5x5 by 5, so 5 cubes, with just one Erogenous rod down the middle. The reactor ports are all just set to full. I've not changed anything to do with these control rods. And they've all got fuel. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn these on. So I'm going to turn that guy on, and you'll see on the setting we've got on default setting, power modifier of 1. This is going to be about 560 RF a tick, which isn't bad. 56 MJ. It's about that's got no coolant or anything in there. That's not too bad. And this seems to be across the board. All these 5x5s seem to be taking that 0.84. Bring it to bucket. So there we go. We're running there. It's hot. Things don't explode yet. Now they might do one day. Someone on the mechanism IAC called PJAT or PIGAT let me know that the reactors don't explode yet, but they might do one day. The turbines also don't explode, even though I'll show you on the tooltip it says that they can do, but they don't yet. That might be coming in a later version, but it's not in just for now. So there we go. We've got 560 RF a tick. Now I'm not sure if we're meant to run these up to fully hot anyway, but there we go. Now if we had water in here, you'll see that water should make it a bit better. Doesn't seem to be doing a great deal, does it? Well, look at that. I expected a bit more from that, if I'm being honest. 560, 562. Wow, massive amount of difference. So water does very little. That's exactly the same, apart from that one's got water blocks in it. Now this one, I want to do a couple of things. First of all, I'm going to break it. Now a couple of people have asked me in videos if it has to be source blocks or flowing blocks. Well, what I'm going to do first is, in fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this one into flowing blocks. So I'm just going to put the top layer as resonant ender. There we go. So that's the top layer. Now let's replace the glass. What I'm going to do is I'm going to break this. Let's get rid of this water. So I need my empty bucket there. And boop, 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 boop. Okay, let's get rid of that. So let's now. Let's fly to do this. It's a little bit too high. There we go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's the bottom layer done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. There we go. Put the water back on this. Cool. Now let's turn these two on. So these two are exactly the same, apart from this one has got source blocks of resonant ender, and this one has just got the top layer, so it's got flowing resonant ender. I'll give them a little bit of time to warm up, and you shall see that now we're getting 1440. So you see that resonant ender makes quite a lot of difference. This is a source block one, so 1440 flux, not bad. Say 144 MJ tick. That's pretty much exactly the same as a railcraft boiler. and so that's running off Uranium instead of wood or whatever you run your railcraft boiler off. 145 MJ tick. Nice one. This one with the flowing one, not the source blocks, pretty much exactly the same. Don't make a difference. So you don't need to use all that resonant ender. You can just have flowing ones, and you get the same there. Look, 145. Everything else is the same. 476. What time should we run out here? 472. Slightly different. Not enough to make a difference really in the power output. 4449 and 1434. A little bit more in fact with the flowing than the source. So that's good to know. Now this was the way the reactor used to run. Now just to show you what I've been running. This is a reactor design that I've been running. It's a 7x7x3. This in the previous versions was the most fuel efficient. I'm not sure if it is now. On the default setting, it puts out a quite reasonable 3.9. So nearly 4,000. Oh, it actually is going to touch onto 4,000. 3.99. So nearly 4,000 hour per tick. Now see the difference here is what I've got in this. This is a 7x7. It's got a big clump of 9 rods in the middle. Now if you look at all these have all got 100% fuel reactivity in there. Now if you look at this one, this makes a bit of a difference I think. This one's got a 418%. I think that's because they're all touching each other. Because they're touching each other, I think that's what's putting this up. And that, it says reduces fuel burn up, so that should make it a bit more efficient. So this is 0.06, so this is a bit more fuel efficient. These are all 0.8ish, so that's going to run a little bit better. 4,000, not bad. It's a good amount of fuel. That it's a good amount of power. I mean, now the setting that we had it on, it was putting out 43,000, which we've changed. And 43,000 is ridiculous. This I think is a reasonable amount. This is the default setting, so that's very nice, right? That's the old way. And that puts your power straight out. You need, of course, what I've not put on here. I've not put power taps on here. Let's just go to big. There we go. So I've not put everything we need on these. There's no way of getting power out of these at the minute. I've just done these set up with a minimum. You need to get fuel in. So we've got the access port. We need a controller. Other than that, we didn't need the bits on. So what we would have needed on there is a reactor power tap, that guy, and possibly some kind of redstone control. If you want to do redstone control, that's optional though. You don't have to do that. Now the thing that's changed now is there's another way of setting up a reactor, and this way is by adding these guys. These are called reactor coolant ports, and what that does is if we turn this guy on, instead of putting out power, this isn't going to put out any power. There's no power coming out of there at all. What there is coming out of here, instead of power, is steam. And it's going into that barrel. So what I've got around the back is I've got one port set as an input, and you change the input and output just by right clicking. I'll change it to input or output. I've just got a transfer node from extra utilities here, putting in a nice amount of water. We've got 16 upgrades, so that's keeping up with that. It needs quite a bit of water to run this, so you need something with a little bit of speed on it to get the water in. There we go. We're using water at a decent rate, and we seem to have leveled up there. 288 millibuckets of steam a tick, so that's what that's running. And it's running, it's the same reactor as them, yeah, 5x5x5 with a 1 rod, and you can see it's running at the same fuel efficiency. It's at 0.8. What about the same fuel efficiency, but putting no power out. All we're getting out of this is steam. Now that's showing 176 now. I think it's because it's not putting out quick enough. It's a little bit weird how this works. It seems to have backed up, so it's not putting out as much. Because that's full. Silly me. Alright, watch this. Break that, put a fresh one down, and that. Now it's running at 360. Okay. I think 360 is the actual max. Look at that though. Look how quick it's filling that drum up. I think 360 is what this actually puts out, and that's an important number. We'll come back to that in a bit. 360. There we go. So. Did show, was it 288 when it was first filling up? 360. Now with coolant in there to make things different, put coolant in that one. If you look, it's putting out exactly the same. So it looks like the coolant does nothing in there when you're running water through it. So it looks to me that that's putting out 360, exactly the same as that. I'm not sure if that's limited in any way by the output. But I don't know if it is. I don't think it is. There we go. That's that's what you can do now. You can get steam out of there, and it's how you use that steam. Now, you use that steam to run your turbine. You don't have to get your steam from your big reactor, but there is a reason why you're going to want to really run in a big reactor anyway. So you need to have one built at some point, so you might as well use it to run your steam later on. You're going to have plenty of Yellorium anyway. So that's your two options now. You can have a run power straight, or you can produce steam. And presumably, we could change this. In fact, let's do it. It's going to take a little bit of time, but let's do it. Let's alright, what do I need here? I need a bucket of water. I need a transfer node. A pipe. And some upgrades. Oops. Let's just change that to 15. Get 15 more of them. There we go. And is that everything I need? Should be. So I'm going to get coolant ports on this one as well now. I'm going to break that and swap it. I'll do the same there. And I'm going to set up a little transfer there to put water in. Like so. And we are going to click this with our hand to make it an output. And I'm going to want, and that's actually full, but don't matter. And I need a servo, I believe, to get that out of there. I might have to try that with one of these as well, see if it can pull out quicker, see if it makes a difference. Right, servo. There we go, there's a servo. Get that in there. Oops. And I'll wrench that to output. Oh, I didn't want that on there at all, did I? Wanted a drum. There we go. So that's actually putting out steam already. So that must just, that's not even turned on. How's that happened? So let's turn this one on. And that's interesting. That's putting out 360 as well. I wonder if I'm doing this a bit wrong. Let's get some more upgrades. And it's always page 2 in it. Yeah, there we go. Let's just 64 of each. Put them in there. Put a fresh drum down. We'll go have a look what that's putting out now. Is that still putting out 360? Okay. No, it's putting out more. I didn't see it's using the water up. So we haven't got enough upgrades in there now. So I'm still learning, as you can tell. I think that's the max you can put in there. I don't think putting any more in makes a difference. But that is the max we can put in. And that's full so quick. So that does actually put out more. So I guess they will as well if we increase the output. So that's maybe, I may be being a bit misleading there. I don't want to mislead you all. So let's do it. In fact, what am I doing with these? Let's get rid of them. Let's get a void. Fluid voids from extra cells. I'm playing this, I'm doing this in a Resonant Rise mod pack, by the way. I'm on version 2.7.00 of Resonant Rise. That's what I'm playing with here, if you was wondering. So there we go, that should be able to put out as quick as it needs to. So that's 12 to 1400. Now we need more of them upgrades. So as you can see, we're getting quite a lot of steam out of that, which is nice. Up. Spell rate. 64. I need 2 stacks. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Oh, get off. Click on the right thing. There we go. And same in there. There we go. So let's see what difference we've got here. And now we need more water in these as well. So as you can see, stop clicking with that. As you can see, it takes a lot of water. A hell of a lot. Right. Now if we look at this, is this putting out the same? So that's putting out 281. So is that... is at its max. It's full of water. It's running. Looks like 280 is the max. No, because that was running 360 before. And that's running 711. I'm sure that was running 360 before. I am so confused. Why is nothing coming out? Well, it's definitely online here. Well, I am a little confused, but there we go. These produce steam. That's the main thing you need to know, and that is producing quite a fair amount of steam. So now we're moving to our turbine. Now I'm going to make a turbine in just a minute. I've set this one up, this max size one, and we're going to spin this one up first. So the basic things that these need to look very cool for a start. The basic thing they need is a controller. They also need input. Now this one, we've got steam input into it. You're spinning up. Starting very slow. So we're getting steam in. It's set the right way, isn't it? Yeah, it's slowing down now, so that was set the right way. We'll speed up, big fella. So okay, that's starting to go. We'll come back in a bit and we'll see what that gets up to. So what we've got here is you need one of these guys, a turbine rotor bearing on the end. Then down the middle you need rotor shafts and blades. Now I'll put a couple together out here just to show you what they're about. That's a rotor shaft. There we go. So once you get two together to go lengthways and the connect, and then what you do with them, you get the blades, and I don't know why it's dark down there, a bit weird. You put the blades all the way around it like so. So you end up with 4 blades. Now what these can take is 25 millibuckets of steam per blade, I believe. So that'd be 100 millibuckets for a full rotor shaft, is that correct? I believe it tells me in here somewhere. Rotor blades can only fully capture energy from 25 millibuckets of fluid per blade. So if we had a little setup, which I'm going to make in a minute, with 2 of these, like so, in theory that can only take 200 millibuckets to be efficient. So they run all the way down the middle. What you need at the end is you need one extra rotor shaft, like so, and then around that you need a coil. Now this coil I'm making here is using vanilla gold. This also supports metallurgy, thermal expansion metals. What Erogenous Beef has said is the more expensive the metal, the more it should conduct your power. So without a coil in, then you can't actually get any power out. So what you see down at the end here, we've got 2 coils of gold at the end of this one. You can see the shaft is still through the middle of them. So that's completing our run. Turbine rotors with blades, coils at the end, and we're starting to spin up. And what you've got here is, in here you've got your RPM, and you see if you mouse over that, it says that rotors perform best at 900 or 1800 RPM. Speeds over 2000 or over speed may cause the turbine to fail catastrophically. That failure is not in yet, that might be coming later, so they shouldn't blow up. That's what I mentioned earlier. This is telling you your output. At the minute we're not putting out a great deal at all, but we are speeding up. And this is your rotor efficiency. Now this will change a bit later on when we start messing around with this. What I want to do is so that's venting the overflow, so it's full of water. So this actually puts out water. So in theory you could put the water back in to one of these. You could have a little closed system. I think it produces enough water to put straight back into one of them. I'm not 100% sure. But you could have your reactor right next to it, putting water in, putting steam in, getting water out to go back through again. I'm not sure if you can make it a closed system. I've not actually tried that. But that's speeding up. While that's speeding up, it's going to take a while. So what we can do, we can make another one. Now this is the one I actually like the size of. This is the one I've been using. Well, this is the one I'm probably going to make, should I say. 1, 2, 3. So I've got 2 blades. Now I'm going to do 2 versions of this. First of all, we're just going to do it this size. So this is a 5 by 5 by 5, same size as the reactors over there. What I'm going to do in a minute, I'm going to make it into a 5 by 5 by 6. I'm going to change things around a little bit. Now, things are a little bit easier to show on this because it spins up a lot quicker, as well as being a little bit more easy to understand, I think. So, it's in there, we're going to fill up all these bits with glass. Now this side we are going to put our bearing, which is there. Then on that we are going to want 3, 1, 2, 3. And on the first 2 we are going to want blades. Like so. So yeah, the metal, I'll leave that for you to experiment with. I'm sure my viewers are all very well educated, got a lot of nous, so I'm sure that some of my viewers are going to let me know what the exact best setup of these things are, which I shall use because I never look a gift horse in the mouth. So I'm sure there'll be people out there who will let me know what the best setup of this is. So what we're going to want for this then is controller and steam input. Where's the there it is. What am I missing? Is that everything? Oh, that might help here. Let's cover the back up. There we go. So that's formed its multi-block. So we know that's correct. Let's put our steam in. That needs wrenching. And you will see that this one, when we fire it up, is going to spin up a lot quicker. How's this one doing? So it's up to 650. It's not quite at its 800 RPM, it's 900 RPM yet. It's getting there though. It's getting up. This one's going to go up a lot quicker. Now, you see this one's already at 900. Now it's going over 900. It's putting out 860 RF a tick. We're putting much too much steam in. That's the issue here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drop the steam rate down. So I think 160. I've done this once earlier, but my configs was not right, so I changed things around a bit. Let me just drop that down, make it drop a bit quicker. So what we're aiming for is this green band. So what we can do, if we bring this down to around 900 RPM, we should have our efficient output. That's still going up. 130. Oops. So not 56. That might be it, might be 130. So you see there, we're putting out 860 RF, or 86 MJ, so a little bit more than this uncooled reactor. So we're not putting out a great deal, but if you remember, this uncooled reactor putting out steam, oops, is putting out more than enough steam to actually run 2 of these. So we could have 2 of these running, so we could get 1600 RF. So we'll be getting double what the uncooled reactor is, but we're still not getting a great deal of power. So that's how these run at 8. So that's putting out 858, not bad. It's quite a lot lower than this guy's putting out. This straight up power guy. I've actually turned that one off now, haven't I? This one's putting out almost double. But the amount of steam we're getting out of one of these, we could run several. We could run 10 of them. We could run 10 of them or a bigger one. Now the other thing we can do with this, how's this doing? We're getting there. This one putting out nearly double. Quite a significant more amount of resources more to make that. What we can also do with this is, if we up this, let's up it. Let's go to 2000 first and get it up. What we're going to spin it up now is up to about 1800. and then we'll bring it down again once it gets close. And I think this is going to be about 360-ish. We shall see, maybe 280-ish, something like that. I'll start bringing it down. Shift and Control brings it down 1,000, and then Control brings it down hundreds. I'm still going up. So and then Shift brings it down in tens. So what we're aiming for here is 1800. So that's about right. And you see there now, we're putting out 1640. And we're using 270 millibuckets. Well, 1640 was about the same as that was. What was that putting out? It's putting out more than that one. Yeah, it's putting out more than that. The equivalent one of them producing steam is putting out 700 millibuckets, it seems, which looks to be about enough. Yeah, certainly enough to run at least 2 of these. So we could be getting 3,200 out of 2 of these by doing that, by using that one. So you know what I mean? It doesn't seem like a lot of power coming out of these, but you're not using a great amount of steam. And do remember, like I said earlier, you could be getting steam from factorization, from railcraft. You're not forced to use this. You're forced to use these for a while. I'll tell you for that in just a minute. But you're not actually forced to use these to produce your steam. But there we go. We're in the green band. We're putting out, excuse me, 1600. Quite nice. Now this one, it's up to 1900. It's not going to get a great deal more, because the more of these to create more drag, this is not going to spin up to 1800, no matter how much we try. So we might as well try and, oops, finish out about there. Excuse me, something tickling my throat. Now I think, no, let's bring this down so we stop going up. $270. Starting to go down again. Is that the same? 270. That's what the same. 1687. 1677. So you see at the minute that is putting out the same as that. Now that looks like to me it's, I don't know. This is twice as much. It's only got 1 coil. So it looks like it's the coil that's limiting that to me. That's got 2 coils. That's got 1 coil, but it's spinning twice as fast. So it looks like that the maths kind of works out for me there. Now I have tried this. If you put on 3 coils, you can get more, but it doesn't spin up full. It takes more. You don't get a great deal more. We can do that. It's going to take a while to spin up again though. But let's change this for gold. Brought the wrong thing there. Never mind. Get out of the way. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, and then shaft, and then that. And we'll turn that on again. Oops. So that's going again. That's going to take a while to spin up. Put it back to 2000. Now that might not get as high now. We'll see. What I'm going to do with this, I'm going to do something similar with this. I'm going to give this an extra one. So this is now going to be running with 2 rings, 2 coils. Like this. Turbine housing, there we go. Glass in there, rotor shaft in there, that's right, yeah, and then glass. It doesn't have to be glass, it could be solid. I could just use turbine these turbine housings for that as well, but there we go, we'll do that. And now we'll put this on again. Let's get it to 2000 to spin it up quicker. What you're going to see now, so remember that was 1600. How's this doing? Very slow. It's in so much drag, makes it a lot slower to spin up. So that's 1600, and it's in its first run. So we've doubled the power output because we've got an extra coil in there. Same as that was putting out 1600 with 2. And we've achieved it in the 900 RPM range, not the 1800. But we might not actually achieve the 1800. Let's see if we can actually make it to 1800. We will be using more steam, but it might not be a significant amount more. But I'll tell you what, I'll let this spin up, I'll let that spin up. I'll be back in a sec. Well, we're about there. This, by the way, these spin real slow when I'm recording. Sometimes I stop the speed up, but I can't show you that because if I stop, I'm not recording. But yeah, they spin real quick when I'm not recording. Sometimes I press the record button to slow right down. A bit weird. This is kind of maxing out already. Now, what has happened here is it's putting out a bit more power, but it can't spin up. It can't get to. It's not going to get much further than this. It's starting to slow down quite a lot. This is at 2000. I can put it down. It won't make a lot of difference. It'll still go up. So it's not actually using 2000, but it's going to be at its max. This one, if we look on about 900, we're at 1667. So we are getting more because before we had to run that. We had to run that up here. Now it's down there, so it's still kind of putting in the same amount of power though. So we haven't actually gained a great deal. We could have been running that further up there. What we can change though, if we put this up to say 360, you'll see this is going to start going up, and it's kind of going out of its 900 range, but it's actually putting more power out. What you're going to see, that's going to max out pretty much. So let's just give that a bit of time. How's this doing? Still sneaking up. It's putting out more, but so we are getting a bit more out, even in it's still in the green there. So that 900's not bang on correct. But what you are going to see is this is going to cap out. So with this setup, we cannot actually get to 1800. So if we could, I think it's going to cap out at 36. So this is running at about 360. I think maxes it. So what? Do you stop around here somewhere? It's somewhere around here. If we put this up to 2000, it's still going to cap at the same place. You see, it's not making any more difference. It's never going to get to 1800. But it's putting out a little bit more, not a significant amount. The last thing I'm going to try with this one, I'm going to brick it again. I made it a bit awkward for myself here. Is I'm going to make it so it's got 3 sets of rotors and back to 1 coil. So we're at one coil like we had the first time, but now we have another set of rotors. See what that does for us. So it's a case of trying things out. Like I said, I'm sure someone who knows more than me is going to be very kind and let me know exactly how to set mine up, because I rely on that. I rely on people who understand mechanics better than me. Let's spin this guy up now. We've got 2000 going, so it should spin up pretty quick. We can see we can get out of it now. So it was up to 60. Well, 1600 was about the same as we was getting on the 1800 spin. Now, because we're back down to 1, we might be able to get to 1800. Now we've got 3 rotors. At some point though, as you can see, the drag created by the rotors actually slows your gain down. So it's something to be aware of. That is putting out more, but it's a lot of coils to make. Now, so while that's warming up, I'm going to talk to you why we need reactors first. So now I'm going to look at the recipes for all these things. Now, if you've never made a big reactor before, the big reactor is pretty straightforward. Most things are made from these reactor casings. Reactor casings all use uranium, which is the fuel, graphite, which is just cooked up coal, and iron ingots. So that's how you make your casings. Now you make your frame out of your casings. All your other bits, your controller, to pretty much always have 4 casings with some other bits. So that one uses a diamond there and some more. That's just a different type of, or dictionary, uranium. That's from atomic science, but so it'll take any, is what it's saying, telling you there. But you can see all these, they all have the 4 I think there's everything of the 4 pretty much. And then finally the glass. The glass is made by 1 casing and 2 glass, so it's a little bit cheaper. So if you want to do all your walls in glass, it's a little bit cheaper than doing them in casing. You could do them all in casing if you want to do it. There's nothing stopping you. If you don't like being able to see in, I don't know why you wouldn't, but won't want to do that. But I kind of like them being able to see them. I do all the floors in solid casing. I do the roofs in glass. It's just it's up to you. But there we go. That's how you make all them bits. So it's all pretty straightforward stuff. If stop cheating things in. I'm meant to be looking. So you see there, it's all pretty straightforward. That's all our bits. Some basic vanilla stuff. This stuff though, the stuff for the turbines, the first thing we notice there is we've got a bit of nether quartz, that's not a big deal. We've got this stuff, cyanite. Now cyanite can only come from a couple of places. One of them is if you actually process your yellowite ore, if you've got a mod called Ender IO, you get a 5% chance against some cyanide dust if you process your yellowite ore. If there, it gives you this stuff called yellow cake, which it works for uranium. I ain't able to cook it up though. When I've used that, I've had to use an ore dictionary converter. I use a mariculture one to turn it from yellow cake back into yellorium dust. This stuff will give you radiation poison as well if you're not using a hazmat suit. So you can get it like that. The other way of getting it is by running reactors. So these have all been running, and look, we've used some of our yellorium, we've got some cyanite, so that's how you get cyanite. You get it by running a reactor. That's why I said even if you want to use your reactor for steam, you do need to run one, because you're going to need a decent amount of cyanite to make one of these. I think each 4 of these casings takes 1 cyanite, so we're going to need, well, we're going to need less than a stack, but we're going to need some, aren't we, to make one of them. So that's how you get your cyanite. The other thing you need, look at all the other bits, we'll leave the control to last, but look at all the other bits. They all use casings as well, so you're going to need more for that. The rotor shafts use a cyanite, the turbine rotor blades use a cyanite, so every shaft and blades uses another 5, so there's another 15 for example in there, so you need more for that. And finally, for your turbine controller, you need some of this stuff, plutonium. Now plutonium uses another machine called a cyanite reprocessor, and what you do with that is you feed it water and cyanite and power, and 2 cyanite becomes 1 plutonium, so you need 4 for there as well to get your controller for each of your turbines you want to make. So you do need to get a bit of cyanite from this, so be aware of that as well. Now how's this doing? Look at that, we've got it running at full. So let's turn the power down. So this is where I guess it could explode if the rules get changed. Well, let's bring this back down to 260 odd, I guess. That's what I was running it before, wasn't it? Are you cooling down? Let's cool it right down quicker. I really don't want to cool down quick, does it? Try and get into this range, this 1800 range. So it's less than 300. So it looks to be about 250, 260. That's going to come down to 1900 range. But you see, even with 3 of them, it's only putting out 1600, which is what we had before. We're back down to 1 coil, you see. So we haven't actually gained anything, really, by putting that third set of rotors in. We was getting enough from just the 2 sets. Now, the web page says you can just use 4 width, which I guess would be 1 set of rotor blades and 1 coil. When I tried that, it didn't work for me. I am just going to cut. I'm going to try that one more time. This guy, that's not bad, 2,200, but we've got a lot more. It looks impressive as well, doesn't it? I might make one like this just because I like the way it looks. But yeah, to me it looks like two sets of blades and 1 coil seems to be the way forward. Now, the reason why I like little ones as well is I generally have redstone control to fill up my energy cells. I want it to spin up to its efficient rate more quickly, really. This takes too long to spin up. I think I'd rather have little ones. I'm going to cut one more time. I'm going to see if a little 5x5x4 works, because the website says it should. And if it does, we'll see what that puts out, and then I'll wrap up. So there we go, just to show you, there's a 5x5x4 with one rotor and one set of coils, and that don't work for me. See, it hasn't formed its multi-block structure. Now, everything's in the right place, nothing's missing, but that don't work for me, so I'm not sure. I think that's maybe meant to work. Like I say, the Big Reactors website says 5x5x4 is the smallest, so I'm not sure with that. Anyway, I like the 5x5x5, seems to work nice, and I think that's what I'll be using. Now I'm going to make these because I like the way they look as much as anything else. I like the way these look as well, so I'll be running one of them with one of them next to it, and I'll see how things go from there. So I hope you've enjoyed watching. I hope I've maybe taught you a little bit about things. I might make one of these just because I think it looks so cool. I'll probably go with a 2 rather than a 3 on there. But, yeah, there we go. That is the version 0.3x, etc. of Big Reactors. Now, I'm sure Erogenous Beef is open to feedback, so get talking to him if you've got any strong feelings about this, about things you've seen and the way it all works. But for now, I'm going to say thank you very much for watching. I hope I taught you a little bit. Thank you very much, Erogenous Beef, for making this really cool mod, and I'll see you next time. Cheers. Bye.